Page with Steve Evans, and we're at Orange County International Raceway for the World Finals of Drag Racing. Racing in funny car and in pro stock. A quarter-mile drag strip.
And one of the quickest quarter miles that these drivers have ever enjoyed, Paul. We're in the semifinals of Pro Stock Eliminator. It'll be the new world champion, Lee Shepard, the red and white car from Texas. This driver always so calm and cool. Quite a contrast as he will be racing the number 3 rated Pro Stock in the country, the always intense Frank Iaconio from New Jersey.
There's Lee Shepard as he will do his burnouts and race in the near side lane. Frank Iaconio on the far side in the bright yellow machine, and of course, Shepard has already wrapped up his world title.
I don't look for either driver to make a mistake on the starting line here, Paul. They're just too professional, too good. Both always on time. This will be a race of horsepower.
A highly competitive class of drag racing, the Pro Stock. Iaconio on the far lane, Shepard on the near side. Both cars away cleanly. An equal race. Down the track they fly. Nose to nose. And Shepard just barely edges it out.
It's a good thing we have an electronic finish line judge here, Paul. I don't know about you, but I couldn't have called that by eye. Lee Shepard wins it by only 1/100th of a second. An 8:37 for Shepard, an 8:38 for Iaconio. It was indeed a race of horsepower, and here's what 1/100th looks like in drag racing.
A race that it could only be resolved by that electronic eye. And here is Mark Yuill, the man who upset the reigning world champion, Bob Glidden.
For Mark Yuill and the Yuill brothers, it'll be fun to go home to Reno and tell all your friends when they come by the shop that you beat Bob Glidden. Had you ever beat him before?
We've raced him now for 9 years in national event competition. Never once, not one single time have we ever beat him, so this was great. Excellent.
And you also played a role in determining the world championship for Lee Shepard.
Well, I'm really proud for Lee, and I'm sorry if that hurt Bob any, but I don't think it did.
He will face John Hagen, who for the first time in his career is in the final rounds of a nationals event. So Hagen on the line now, ready to face Mark Yuill.
Hagen is the world's fastest pro stocker. He had set a national record here at this event earlier, over 164 miles an hour, and Yuill is late. Mark Yuill did not react to the light. Hagen's got a big lead and a lot of horsepower on the other end. It's a walk away for Hagen.
John Hagen with an 8.42, 164.53 miles an hour, moves into the final round where he will face Lee Shepard. And that will bring up the semi-final round in funny car as Dale Pulde faces Jim Dunn.
A pair of Californians here, Paul. One a fireman for a living, the other a drag racer for a living. Here's the fireman, Big Jim Dunn. These cars are very evenly matched if you look at their elapsed times from qualifying and in the earlier rounds. Pulde's car has a history of inconsistency, though, and Big Jim Dunn is so experienced, he seldom makes a mistake. And remember, this is his home track.
So Dale Pulde now in the cockpit. He is ready. The engine fired. Everything set to go, and this is the moment when the driver must clear his mind of all outside obstacles and concentrate merely on the job at hand, which is a quarter-mile racetrack in front of him. It is a race really against nothing but himself. He must drive as fast as he possibly can. Jim Dunn, last one at the Super Nationals in 1972 in Ontario. So it is Pulde on the near side, Dunn on the far side. They're away, and already Pulde lights the tires on the rear. If Dunn holds on, Jim Dunn moves to the final round.
Dunn clocks a 6.06 at 238 miles an hour. And here's an example of why you have to be constantly checking the track conditions. They change round after round. Pulde had too much horsepower. He simply overpowered the track. When you smoke the tires like this, the elapsed time just evaporates.
So Jim Dunn has moved into the final round here in the World Finals at Orange County International Raceway. Now only to be determined who will be his opposition as Gary Burgin comes up against Dale Armstrong.
Armstrong, the new national record holder at 5.89 seconds. He says that this World Finals event is his last ever race. He's retiring from the cockpit, going to work as a chief mechanic for another crew, the Speed Racer car based out of Pennsylvania.
Dale Armstrong has his machine on the line, but He's pulling his gloves off. The fire is out in his machine. Something's wrong.
The supercharger backfired, Paul, and when it did, the engine died. So Dale Armstrong is out of competition. Gary Burgin will have a solo run, but he's got to keep that car between the guardrail and the center line. If he touches either one, he could still be disqualified.
It is certainly not unknown for someone to be making a bye round and make a mistake, get across the line, or even lose control. So this is a run for lane choice as Gary Burgin streams down the strip and through the traps. 6.05, and that will give him the lane choice in the final round of Funny Car.
Dale Armstrong removes the Nomex sock possibly for the last time. He says he's retired, but he can still muster a smile, and who wouldn't with a new record?
And Gary Burgin gets a gift and gets the lane choice going to the final round. He's with Steve Evans.
What a Funny Car final we have got set up. Big Jim Dunn at 6:06. And Gary Burgin at a 6:05, and this is the first Burgin knows of that number. That means lane choice. Is it a factor?
I don't believe so. We run the right lane, which is supposedly the worst of the two lanes, if there is a worse lane, all weekend.
No one knows this track better than Jim Dunn. You're out all over the country racing. He's right here.
That's very true. In fact, Steve, we haven't raced here since 1977. I'm just happy with ourselves because we did so well at Fremont 2 weeks ago, and we're doing so well here.
And here is the final round. Pro Stock Eliminator in the World Finals of Drag Racing. Lee Shepard will face John Hagen. And before they climbed in the machines, they met with Steve Evans back in the pit area. Steve?
All right, this could be a driver's battle. You guys are pretty close, well, laps time-wise.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a good race.
There'll be one on the starting lane, most likely, you know.
Okay, we'll be watching. Thank you.
So in the far lane, it will be John Hagen as he faces Lee Shepard. $15,000 and the event title on the line. Shepard pulls the whole shot, but now Hagen begins to answer. They're side by side. Shepard beginning to pull a lead, and it's Shepard across the line. 8.35 seconds, 151.29 miles an hour for Lee Shepard.
Not only is he the world champion established earlier today, he wins the World Finals Eliminator title and some $15,000 or $20,000 that goes along with it. Congratulations, Lee Shepard.
Thank you, Steve. That really feels great. I've never been so excited my whole life.
Well, you don't sound like it, but I know you are inside. He's a soft-spoken Texan. There was only about 400ths of a difference, so it really was a driver's race.
Yeah, John's been running awful good today. Sure has.
Why don't you come on out of this car? Let's not keep you prisoner in here. Okay, and here's the president of the National Hot Rod Association, Mr. Wally Parks, to shake the hand of Lee Shepard, and I can't think of a world championship that has ever been more deserving. If you recall 1 year ago here this weekend, he was the man with the tears in his eyes when his lead evaporated to Bob Glidden. But Glidden's gone, that 18-wheeler is pulled out, and you're it. Again, congratulations to Rearin Morrison, to Lee and Mary Shepard, your Pro Stock World Champion and World Finals Champion.
So Lee Shepard picks up 2 titles, and it is quiet for the moment. But when we come back, the thunder of the funny cars as the final round will face Gary Burgin against Jim Dunn. This is Paul Page with Steve Evans, and we're standing by for the final elimination in funny car at Orange County International Raceway. In the far lane, Gary Burgin, and he will face Jim Dunn. Why did Jim Dunn make it to this final round? He told Steve Evans it was in part a matter of luck.
Yeah, you know, we're awful lucky, but we run good, but we're lucky and we play the odds that we'll run an O if we have to and try not to hurt it. And we'll try to run another O this run if we can get it together in time.
And this is your home track. You race here a lot. Burgin hasn't raced here since 1977.
Doesn't matter. It's good. If the track's good, you make power and you run good.
So Jim Dunn, a local favorite, as he faces the longtime pro Gary Burgin.
Gary Burgin, a homegrown product from Stanton, California, right here in Orange County. Now, Paul Dunn may call it luck. I call it experience, savvy. He has just been craftier than anyone else as far as adapting to this track round after round.
The conditions are absolutely perfect. The air has cooled in the past few minutes, and so these cars and motors are ready to do their job. As they come to the line, all the marbles are on this one simple quarter-mile run.
Jim Dunn says he's taking the conservative approach. Gary Burgin, as always, will go all out.
Gary Burgin rolls up the stage. Jim Dunn is ready. They're away. wins the World Finals in Funny Car.
Big Jim Dunn with another 6.0 elapsed time has got this crowd cheering. They're on their feet. This is no fluke. Big Jim was in the finals of the U.S. Nationals this year.
A popular victory before his hometown crowd as Jim Dunn wins the World Finals of drag racing.
Well, we did good. We only killed about 7, I think.
Who cares at this point?
That's right. We got 3 left.
And nothing but friends in your camp working on this car. No hired help, no fancy crew chiefs.
Nobody gets paid, not even me. In fact, I pay. They get 2 hamburgers tonight, right?
You do this strictly for fun.
That's it. We've always done it for fun. We always will.
Well, there's a man who enjoys his drag racing. Congratulations to Jim Dunn, who wins the event title in Funny Car. And congratulations, too, to Ray Beadle, who has the World Championship now in Funny Car, and Lee Shepard, who has won both the World title and the event title in Pro Stock. I'm Paul Page for Steve Evans. So long from the World Finals of Drag Racing.